sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome
to... No matter what the technical...
Buttons. I forgot to push the buttons. Welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. I am trying to make sense out of the senseless, as I am not prepared. I thought I opened everything up, and I forgot one window to open up. The most important, the information for the show. So, welcome. Remember, the Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch broadcast, go to reaver.one. Click on the live stream. If you like that live stream, don't forget to subscribe to keep up to date. If you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one. Click on the Reaver store. How's everybody doing? Hopefully everybody's doing good this morning, afternoon. So, Trump, as he should, won another state. He's now 41 delegates, roughly, from locking it up. So, Tuesday will be pretty much a given. I mean, he'll be going through 5 states. One's got 172. One's got, 150, or excuse me, has 51 or 55. New Jersey does. I think he can pretty much lock it up on Tuesday. So, I know there's some unhappy people, but there's one thing to be unhappy and not, that's one thing. It's another for this Never Trump movement. There's been years that candidates that I did not back are the ones that are nominated. And I still do what I need to do. And then you have years like this where, and right now you could really see what I'm talking about, because if you pay attention to them on Twitter and Facebook and, oh, wait a minute. Conservatives don't do that. Conservative people don't go on social media. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm sorry about that. That's what Glenn Beck has told us, that, we don't go on social media. Just because his company's failing. We don't go on social medias. But, back to my point. That was also a side point. I got points everywhere. These Never Trumps who they've left the RNC. They left the Republican Party because they cannot, by morals, stand by with a man like Trump. Their morals. Yeah. They ran to the Libertarian Party, and some of them were actually Libertarian. That actually really stirred up this brouhaha. And the ones that are in the Libertarian Party are now mandating that the Libertarian Party move to the right more. They're mandating that they must turn into the party that they want. This minority wants everybody to curtail to them. Well, the only way you're going to get that is if you start your own little party and you work on it and you expand it. This all or nothing, my way or the highway bullshit is what pisses me off. And that's the main thing that pisses me off about the Libertarian Party. This my way or the highway. If you disagree with us on any point, you're against the Constitution. Well, I have a free mind. I am a free thinker. And it doesn't mean that I'm going against the Constitution. So, neener. Oh, Lord. Quick news and change up for tonight's lineup, and I'll mention it probably a couple times. Tonight on South Side of Mutts, which is 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. Normally, it's hosted by the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, but Crash's oldest daughter, it technically is his stepdaughter. Yesterday, her father was found dead. So he wasn't sure if he was going to make it. So what I did is I got someone to step in for tonight. A good friend of mine, and we'll get into that in a minute. Because I knew what Crash would do. He would still try to call in, feeling obligated to the show. But I wanted to make sure that he didn't do that, so I got a guest co-host. Paris, a good friend of mine, Democrat. But the thing is, between me and him, we can actually have conversation. I respect his opinion. He respects mine. It isn't, this freaking out every time someone says something that's different than each other's thoughts. If we can prove to each other, we've actually changed each other's minds on stuff. He is my brother from another mother, and it will be interesting. He is and it surprised me with him being a Democrat because he is such a hardworking, and I am pretty sure there's more than I actually think about. He is a hardworking, self-made man. He's owned bars. He's a jack of all trade and a master of a lot of them. That's the scary part. And unfortunately, he always kicks my ass when we go fishing. He always kicks my ass, and it pisses me off. But I can get the black tip shark with no problem. He gets them every now and then. So tonight I'm gonna have that guest co-host. It'll be an interesting show. We're gonna really see how far we can take this. So, migrants committing disproportionately high crimes in Germany. Wow, you wouldn't know about it. While media and governments focus on the far right thought crime. Because they're against the migrants, they must be arrested. They must be silenced. A massive migrant crime wave is surging across Germany, according to figures buried in a new report released by the country's interior minister. The data reveals that without migrants considered, crime rate in Germany would have remained roughly static since 2014. But in fact, the country recorded an extra 402,741 crimes committed by migrants. While much of this criminality concerned illegal border crossings, German authorities instead talked up the record surge in crime by right-wing radicals. Concerning statistics from a 135-page report, revealed that 70% of pickpocketing, one of the crime type on the rise, was committed by non-German. Of this figure, 34% was committed by recent asylum seekers, with the rest committed by non-Germans. Foreign nationals are thought to account for around 11 to 12% of the total population of Germany, but were overrepresented in every area of crime. Sorry about that. All of a sudden got a little tickle in my throat. Ooh. All right, I got to tell you this. I got a picture. It's a little foul, so if you're at work, you might want to turn it down just for a minute. I got a picture of Hillary Clinton up, and it says it's a challenge that I'm putting out. You go look at this picture and try to masturbate. Look at that picture of Hillary Clinton and try. Yeah, people just it's not happening. A lot of people are failing the challenge. They're failing it before they even start. So there's my challenge. There's my internet challenge. Yeah, I know. I'm sick in the head, and I love it. Amongst total offenses, non-Germans accounted for 26.6%, while illegal immigrants and asylum seekers accounted for 5.7%. Of homicides, the figures are 29.3% to 8.2%, and of sexual assault, the figures were 20.5 to 4.8. In all these cases, as well as those indicated in the chart below, non-Germans and illegal migrants outstripped their proportion of crimes to their representatives in German society. Non-Germans accounted for 83% of all robberies, 83% of thefts, and 43% of thefts that involve a level of aggression, such as assault or force. They accounted for 40.2% of burglaries, 43.5% of shoplifting, and a whopping 75.7% of pickpocketing and purse snatching. Hey, open borders. It'll be a great idea. It'll be good for Germany. Yeah, I don't think so. And of the migrant crimes specifically, Syrians top the list of migrant crimes that are not related to border control with a total of 10,348 individual offenses in 2015. They also led assault cases amongst migrants with 3,186 offenses in 2015. Thefts were committed by Albanians with 6,689 offenses, and Algerians coming close with 5,611. Algerians almost tie with Siberians when it comes to fraud. Let me check something. Oh. Sorry about this. Something's not looking right. No, just want to check. You might get a... There we go. Chat rooms are weird sometimes, and my normal group is not there, so they might just be running behind today. But sometimes when a chat loads up, it only shows like one person, nobody in there, or one person. So you got to refresh to get to the actual chat room. It's a software glitch, not on our end. So let's see. Even with border control breaches are exempt from the data, the situation is still stark. Male crime is stagnant amongst Germans. But when migrants are added, male crime goes up 12%. With female crime rising just 6%, this reflects the fact that most migrants into Europe into 2015 were young men. Crime rates amongst non-Germans outside the Resident Act are up 13%, whereas crimes committed by Germans are down 5%. And the report shows that offenses against the Resident Act, the Asylum Procedure Act, and the Freedom of Movement Act are up by 157.5%, with shoplifting up 7.1%, pickpocketing 7%, burglary 9.9%, and drug offenses 2.1%. Listen, it's not just Muslims that cause problems. We're having... I don't know what the call is, but these people go to new countries and they feel they can run and do whatever they want. When you bring in these migrants, no matter what country they come from, and you allow them to start breaking some basic rules, it gives them the understanding that, hey, I can do whatever I want. I know this is a surprising idea that most liberals can't comprehend. It's... I don't know. We're in a world of shit right now. This whole world is. Nobody is... I'm wondering how it will look 100 years from now when they're teaching. How it will be written. I know you'll have some... Well, America as a bad guy that went around killing everybody at every chance. Yeah, besides that. With this migrant issue, how will the books be written? Will we be one of those periods that is glanced over? Will we be just known for the conflicts in the Middle East? And that's it? It makes you wonder. It really does. How we will be perceived in the not far future. I mean, think about it. How will they be writing our history? And I know it depends on whether it's will be a conservative or liberal writing it. But really, just sit back and think about that. Sit back and think. All right. It's weird. As I've said before, when it comes to this migrant situation, yes, I am compassionate. I do have compassion. And if there's something happening and there's no choice, yes, I have no problem bringing immigrants here. The Middle East with Syria. The main issue that I have, two of them. Number one, this is what ISIS told us they were going to do about a year ago. They announced it. They don't hide their plans. They tell us outright that they were going to cause such an issue in Syria that it would cause a mass exodus. And within that exodus, they would put ISIS operatives. The easiest way to get their operatives out and about is to have these governments do it for them. Then they don't have to fight to get the people anywhere. We're doing it for them. And the other big issue I have is there are several countries in the Middle East that are financially stable. They have the housing. They have the capability. But they refuse to take in these migrants. So, at that point, that throws up, both of those points throw up red flags for me. It may not be fair to some of the victims, but I am not willing to put my family's life at risk, gamble their lives. I don't see any of these senators, congressmen, the president, the vice president. I don't see any of these top CEOs that are for open borders and all this crap opening their doors to allow any of these migrants into their house, property. No, they're putting up bigger fences to get better protection. That throws up red flags for me. When these people that are pushing these situations onto the people and they're not willing to deal with it in the same way we do, that throws up red flags. God damn. Even went to bed early, woke up on time. I'm still yawning. Maybe I'm boring myself. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
To Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense show. I am your host, Jersey Joe. Trying to make sense out of the senseless. It's a daunting task. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a broadcast, great. Go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you want to support the show, support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one. Click on the Reaver store. Pick yourself up a t-shirt or two. And that'd be Reaver, REAVER.ONE. Oh, so this one the European Union vows to use new powers to block all elected far-right populists from power. So the democracy of people voting in the people that they want to rule them, not rule, but rule, they're going to be blocked from power because the left doesn't want to give up their power. The European Union is not what it was told to be. It is turning into, or was from the beginning, nothing more than another attempt to pass socialism onto countries. The president of the unelected executive arm of the European Union has vowed to block all right-wing populists from power across the continent, shortly after acquiring the power to exert far-reaching sanctions on elected government. The president of the European Commission promised to exclude the leader of Austria's Freedom Party from all EU decision-making if elected ahead of yesterday's presidential vote. There will be no debate or dialogue with the far right, the liberal bureaucrat told AFP. The FPO has been Australia's top polling political force for some time. However, after leading the pack for most of the presidential race, the right-wing candidate lost out by 0.6% to the Green Party. After inclusion of postal votes and months of Europeans' mainstream media calling the center-right populists the far right. Right-wing populists are periodically topping the polls across the continent in France, Sweden, Holland, and now Austria. And anti-migrant populists are already in power in Hungary, Poland, and Czech Republic. It is a sweep going across Europe because people don't like the left and how they're governing and screwing things up. They're doing things that the people are saying they don't want. The left thinks they know it all. Mr. Junkers, who is the president of the European Commission, Mr. Junkers. Yeah, he said Junker. Definition of far right is somewhat broad, noted by him previously describing Hungary's conservative president as a fascist. When in doubt, make an extreme accusation. It will stick. With the continent-wide Democrat surge to the right, the anti-Democrat commission could be in for a challenge in an attempt to exclude each and every elected government they deem to be far right. However, as of 2014, the commission was handed a batch of new powers that it could plausibly use to do just this. Power already being mobilized against Poland's elected conservative leader. The commission can now trigger a rule of mechanism. Article 7 TEU against nations it perceives as deviating from the common constitution tradition of all member states. Ultimately, far-reaching sanctions can be exerted and a country can be stripped of all voting rights in the EU and have funding blocked. Yeah, that. So you either follow along or you will be blocked. You will be silenced. If you don't go along, we will pull the funding from you. Let me tell you, I'm in charge of one of those countries and they threaten me with that. We're at peace. Have a good day. I'd be out of that fucking union so fast. And these countries need to start leaving it. They do not have the power that they say they do. You start taking some of those countries and yanking them out of that EU, you will watch the EU fall quickly. It is not as powerful. It is a evil entity. And it's hell-bent on ruling all. They've already talked about having a vote to do away with the countries and become one nation. That's already been discussed. They're going to start pushing that soon. Because now you got people, the only thing they ever knew was the European Union. They don't know about their country. This is the end of a lot of those countries. They need to wake the fuck up and realize that left are no different than all the evil entities that we've dealt with in the past. They're out for power. They're out for control. They will do away with every single freedom. This is an overreach of power by the EU. And God, do I hope that England exits the EU. It is not my country. I can't tell you what to do. I can talk to you and I can tell you what I think, but I have no right to tell you what to do. But I can tell you this. The European Union is not what it seems. It is a slow progression. The European Union, exactly what it's showing, how it's acting, is exactly what we went to war for. It just... Yeah, that's what we're talking about right now, Kel. Is exactly that. That the commissioner is going going to be blocking anybody on the right from power and threatening states that basically if they don't fall in line, their voting will be stripped and there will be, well, all their funding will be taken from them. So they're being blackmailed into falling in line. This is just a peaceful version of Germany, World War II. They're taking over countries without firing a single shot. Now, I'm not trying to compare it to Hitler and all that. Just I'm using that as an example. The EU is taking control and basically saying it doesn't give a shit what the people of that country want. It knows better, and it will blackmail and threaten by taking away your voting right. Well, you know what? I'd be, fuck you, I'm out of here. Piss off, EU. Don't call us. Don't text us. Don't write. In January of this year, the first ever unelected commissioner vice president who is in charge of human rights triggered a mechanism for the first time against Poland's government, which came to power in a record-breaking landslide election in 2015. I was just put up, Kel told me, in June 27th is when England votes. That's when they vote to get their country back. When they vote to become free again. People, it's a slow progression. People are voting because they don't like what they see in the EU. They don't like that these liberals are destroying their country. These liberals in the EU are not listening to the people, and the people are standing up and had it. So what you're telling the people now is you have no power, you have no voice, you have no right. Even though they elected a conservative government, you have no right. Oh, she said, no, the 23rd. So 23rd is England's vote for freedom. The next thing they need to do is start taking their country back from the Muslims. And that is, there is groups of Muslims that have taken over parts of the UK. Not just UK, all these countries that are in the EU. It is a peaceful takeover. And just because it's peaceful does not make it justified or right. It just means that they come in with a lot of good bullshit and snake oil. But the people are waking up, and now it might be too late for them. The new government has subsequently been embroiled in a showdown with their constitutional court over the appointment of a new liberal judges and the organization of Poland's state broadcaster. Mr. Timmerman and the commission gave Poland an ultimatum and a deadline to back down, by which expired yesterday. As reported by Breitbart London today, the commissioner has now traveled to Poland to negotiate with the government there. There is no precedent to indicate what will happen next. And if you got to give ultimatums like that, you are not on the side of justice. If you got to throw ultimatums, there's problems. there's a backlash actually going on and has already begun against the new explicitly anti-democratic EU powers. Hungarians Viktor Orban has vowed to help Poland fight the Commission and other Easterners. Visegrad nations as likely to join the growing coalition. In the future, please have more restraint in instructing and reprimanding the parliament and the governments of a sovereign democratic nation, Poland Justice Minister wrote to Timmermans in January. This is not the union, not the kind of membership that we have agreed to. The Poland foreign minister. It has nothing to do with what they had talked about joining. But yet, everybody was saying this was the outcome. And even worse. And the outcome is starting to appear. Countries are wising up to it. This one world nation will never work. Never. No matter how much you try or how many episodes of Star Trek you watch. It will never work. You have too many different types of people on this planet. Some of these nations, including the United States, is having trouble governing the people that they have because there's so many different opinions and styles of living. And let me tell you, what's going on in the EU is almost like what's going on here in America. You just transpose the states to the federal, and the federal's doing the same thing to states, giving ultimatums and threatening them, threatening to take money away from them unless they fall in line. It is that time. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
To Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians.
You got a business. You didn't build that.
A team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, trying to make sense out of the senseless. And when we're talking in Europe right now, nothing makes sense. No matter what you say, it just is batshit crazy. But the Jersey takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat, people. Go to shrmedia.com, click on the chat room button, join the conversation. So I want to give a heads up again for tonight's show on the Southside Mutts, hosted by the Jersey Boys. That would be me, Jersey Joe, and Crash. Crash will not be here tonight. He was going to really try, and I know he would still try. His oldest daughter is his technically stepdaughter, and her father was found dead yesterday. I think he was 44, 45 years old, and I wanted to make sure that he but he was there for his family. So I booked a guest co-host, and that would be a Paris Henderson. He's a very, very good friend of mine. As I said earlier, yes, he is a Democrat, but you know what? I can have a conversation with him. He respects my opinion. I respect his, and that's how we go at our discussions. We don't go at it thinking the other person's wrong. We go at it with an open mind and have discussions. And this is how it's supposed to be, people. You should be able to talk freely with someone with opposing thoughts. That's how better ideas come across. Everybody thinking the same and acting the same way, we would not advance in this world because, well, everybody would come up with the same ideas. Opposing ideas are some of the best ideas when you put them together. And when I learned that as a deputy chief. I would come up with an idea, someone would be like, nah, that's not good. Well, they'd come up with an idea, I'd be like, nah, that's not practical. Well, what if and you start working it out, and you usually come out to a very good idea when both sides want to work together. Now, when both sides don't, yeah, I've seen that in the squad too, where you have two sides. Damn it. We have both sides that just do not want to talk to each other. So it never works out. Nobody's willing to compromise. No one's willing to have a conversation. So it's going to be an interesting night. The man is a wealth of knowledge. And I don't hold it against him that he is a liberal. And like he said, not all conservatives are racist from knowing me. This is a man, he is a liberal, but like I said, he has open minds. He recently was pitching about the transgender bathroom things. He has 2 daughters, and he said the same thing. You go in there while my daughters are in there, yep, you're going to be walking out with some missing teeth. He also is a person that he's black. He does not like to be called African American. Because to him, that's an insult, saying that he's not a true American. He is 100% American, and he is black. Anything else, he gets pissed off. He's been a business owner. He owned a bar, and that's how I got to know him. There's some incidents that popped up, and I helped back him up. I then ended up working for him. And great boss. He is a hard worker, I'll tell you that. He busts his ass. And he deserves everything he gets, and he earns everything he has. But I have watched him get attacked by other blacks because he didn't let him get away with murder in his bar. He expected everybody to be respectful. He had a dress code, and he expected people to live up to that. One of the Facebook messages he sent out was a couple years ago. The RNC was down here in Tampa. He got a friend of his owned a limousine company, and he needed extra drivers. So my buddy stepped up and said he'd do it, and if it's money, he's there. And he shows up at the convention to pick somebody up and take him back to the hotel. Here he goes. He drove up to the wrong roadway. He drove up to the exit. Here he is in a nice suit. Apologizes to the Secret Service. Said, sorry, this is the first time I'm here. I didn't know. Which way do you want me to go? And as he said, he spoke proper English. He treated the Secret Service with respect. And their words back were, no problem. Next time you just need to go down to that exit. Right now, just go ahead, drive up, pick your guy up, and then come back out this way. But just for further knowledge, just go in the other door or the other entrance, and everything will be good. Have a nice day. And his point was, if you treat people with respect, you look professional, you talk professional, you'll get treated professionally. And I love that type of message being put out there. Now, when he's at the bar, oh, shit. When he's at the bar, there for enjoyment, there to have a drink, yeah, he'll sit down and bullshit and, that's fine. But when it's time for business. When it's time for pleasure and fun, you have fun. And I respect this man. I owe him a lot. And it should be a fun time tonight. It'll be the first time he's on a radio show, so I got to bust his chops a little bit. But he could throw it right back because he always kicks my ass in fishing. Oh, my God. This man has, like, the magic lures. All right. This is going to be interesting because Tom Brady is now appealing the suspension again, saying that Roger Goodell's suspension was biased, agenda-driven, and self-approving. Tom Brady's hard-hitting appeal of a federal court's decision upholding his Deflategate suspension labels NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell punishment of him biased, agenda, and self-approving. And that's what it is. There was no facts from the investigator. No facts. And if you look at it, why was he suspended? Because the investigator said he feels and thinks Brady knew about it. He had no facts or evidence to back up that. But he felt, well, I can feel a lot of things about people. Doesn't make them true. I thought we punish people, whether in a private company or not, I thought we punish people on facts. The 16-page document filed by former Solicitor General Ted Olson wasted no time in making its case in direct language. Olson begins. This case arises from an arbitration ruling by NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell that undermines the rights and expectations of parties to collective bargaining agreement and runs roughshod over the rule of law. Goodell superintended a multi-million-dollar investigation into purported football deflation during the 2015 AFC Championship game, an investigation he falsely portrayed as independent. The NFL then used the findings of the investigation to impose a severe and unprecedented punishment on New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady based on his supposed general awareness of misconduct by team employees. When Brady exercised his right under the collective bargaining agreement to appeal the punishment, Goodell appointed himself as the arbitrator and affirmed the punishment he had himself imposed. The brief, followed by a not-so-brief addendum, seeks an en bloc hearing of the 13 members of U.S. Court of Appeal for the Second Court to overturn a 2-1 decision, overturning a judge's decision that initially overturned Goodell's decision to uphold his own decision. So now in football, it's fucking weird. Football cases, incidents are now being decided by courts. I mean, and I don't blame Brady for this. Listen, I never liked, and I don't care who it was going to get disciplined. Goodall is the one that hands down the punishment. And then when you go to appeal, Goodall is the one that hears the appeal. Does that strike anybody as odd? We got some of the same stuff that goes on in the NHL. And it blows my mind. I'm sure Goodell wouldn't want a judge to hear a case on him and be the same judge that does the appeal. That's not justice. So, I mean, a judge overturned, and this is getting tiresome. Every time someone doesn't like the opinion, either way, of courts, they got to then appeal that decision. Then appeal that decision. Then appeal that decision. Before we know it, the fucking Supreme Court is going to be clogged with cases coming out of the NFL over punishment, because it can't govern itself properly. The following remains silent on several of the controversial animating public criticism of the Wells report that serves as the basis of Goodell's initial decision, such as the NFL investigators' tortured logic that relied on the opposite of what the AFC Championship game's referees told him regarding the gauge he used to measure the air pressure of the ball. Instead, procedural matters such as Goodell ignoring discipline for equipment rules violation created by a new and unprecedented punishment for a general awareness of more probable than not tampering or not ball tampering. What's funny is you have two other quarterbacks that admitted to overinflating the ball. Now, if you read the rules, there is a minimum and a maximum pressure. And a couple of the quarterbacks who have larger hands admit to overinflating the balls so that they can grip them. No one brings that up. No one touches that. Although his arbitrarial authority was contractually limited to hearing appeals of disciplinary decision, Goodell's upheld Brady's punishment based on different grounds that were not the basis for his original discipline decision. The appeal notes, in doing so, Goodell did not even mention or discuss the collective bargaining penalties for equipment violated rules, the very misconduct he alleged. Brady asked the court to vacate his 4-game suspension met out by Goodell because of allegations the quarterback knew of a scheme to deflate the balls prior to the 45-7 playoff victory over the Indianapolis Colts. Should a majority of the 13 judges reject reject the idea of a new hearing, Brady could take his case to the Supreme Court. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Planet Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
To Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, trying to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. And if you want to watch a broadcast, go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. Don't forget, if you want to, well, I really beg you, please hit the subscribe button. If you support the show or support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one and click the Reaver store. Again, don't forget tonight, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember, go to shrmedia.com for the Southside Much Show, hosted by Jersey Joe and Crash, the Jersey Boys. Except tonight, Crash will not be with us. We will have a guest speaker, guest host, Pears. And he'll be joining us live from the Tampa area. So, the first Clinton cash domino to fall. FBI investigating Hillary Bagman Terry. Oh, God, I hate last names. Well, anyway, the Virginia Democratic governor, how about that, is under federal investigation for campaign contribution from a Chinese billionaire who has also donated $2 million to the Clinton Foundation. Surprise, surprise, surprise. From CNN, Virginia governor is the subject of an ongoing investigation by the FBI and prosecutor from the Justice Department's Public Integrity Unit. U.S. officials briefed on the probe. You know, it's Democrat. They're not going to get in trouble for it. They only go after foreign Indian conservative donors. And I feel sorry for what happened to Dinesh. I mean, he admits he was wrong. He stepped up to the plate, and he got fucked hard by this government. He got fucked hard by Obama's government. There was a Democrat donor that got hit for the same charges, except it was like 100 times more he went over the limit than Dinesh. And, well, he got a smack on the hand while Dinesh D'Souza got bent over and fucked on his charges. Now, we know that this Democrat Virginia governor, they ain't going to go after him. Especially if Hillary gets elected president. That it would be dropped so fast. The investigation into her email. Investigation into the Clinton Foundation. All that would end. Not because there's nothing going on, but because she would be able to kill the investigations. As part of the probe, the official said, investigators have scrutinized the Democrat Virginia governor time as a board member of the Clinton Global Initiative, a vehicle of charitable foundation set up by former President Bill Clinton. There's no allegations that the foundation did anything improper. The probe has focused on the Virginia governor and the electoral campaign donation, the official said. How can they say that the foundation did anything improper? Well, I believe that investigation is still going on, but the investigation is turning up some other illegal activity. And if you remember, this all started with September 11th, Benghazi incident. They started looking into her email, started noticing stuff missing, found out about the private email server. Started investigating the private email server. Found out that there is questions about the Clinton Foundation financials. Started investigating that. Came across Possible illegal donations given to Virginia governor. I don't think they realize by her having a private email server how much of a can of worms it would open. And it has. I love my new chair, but the armrests are... All right. When I want to put my hands like right about here. But, I mean, they're all the way... It's like 6 inches lower. Drives me up a wall. But amongst the donations that drew the interest of the investigator was a $120,000 donation from a Chinese businessman, Wang Wenlang, through his U.S. business. Wang was previously delegate to the Chinese National People's Congress, the country's ceremonial legislator. Listen, I'm not going to say the man's guilty yet. But I think he's guilty. This is seems to be very common amongst anybody that has connections to Hillary. It seems they were helping funnel money in to help Democrats get elected and reelected. God, I need more sleep. Sorry, people. It's... The more they look, I think the more they're going to uncover, and it's whether they're willing to go down that rabbit hole. It's whether they're willing to actually do something about these activities. And I just don't see it happening. No, I don't. So, Trump has made a statement. Donald Trump blasted Hillary Clinton's radical immigration position on Sunday. And it's now showing that only 4% of the American women support Clinton's Middle East migration proposal. A tweet by Donald Trump that crooked Hillary wants a radical 500% increase. 500% increase in Syrian refugees. We can't allow this. Time to get smart and protect America. Oh, the racist. He wants to protect America. Oh, the horrors. Indeed, last year, President Obama directed his administration to accept at least 10,000 Syrian refugees over the course of this fiscal year. However, Clinton said that Obama's plan did not go nearly far enough. Clinton called for a 500% increase to Obama's refugees resettlement operation. Jiminy crickets. They're flooding all these countries with the Middle Eastern personnel. And those countries that are doing it in mass amounts are losing their identity. They're not refugees. They're invaders, whether it's by intention or unintention. I can see where they're doing it. And I can see it where the UN is part of this of, I don't know. But you have to destroy the notion of borders. You have to destroy the patriotism. You have to destroy the idea of America so that you can start converting over to this one world nation. They knew Europe would be the easy one. And they think they could do it to Canada and Mexico. It's the United States that they're having problems. So since they can't convince the American people, and they don't think they can get the American people to approve, what's the next best thing? You flood the borders with new voters. Plain and simple. You flood the borders with new voters. The voters, those new ones, then can override what the natives want. Clinton is calling for admitting 65,000 Syrian refugees, is on top of the roughly 30,000 refugees, asylees from the United States already admits from the Middle East each year. Adding in refugees from across the Muslim world, this means that under Clinton's plan, the U.S. would admit at least 105,000 refugees from the Muslim world annually based on data from the Department of Homeland Security. This does not include the larger permanent resettlement program that occurred through green cards, bringing total annual migration from the Muslim world to 182,000 a year under Clinton's proposal, of which roughly 140,000 would be from the Middle East specifically, according to DHS data. Polling data shows that Americans oppose Clinton's refugee settlement plan by a margin so striking that it would seem to confirm an early declaration from Immigration Subcommittee Chairman Senator Jeff Sessions that Hillary Clinton has embraced a radical and extreme open borders agenda that exposed and will make her unelectable. To provide more detailed breakdown on the numbers involved in Clinton's proposal, here's the approximately the Islamic migration that would occur in her first term under a minimum number she has put forward thus far. God, is it me or am I just not tongue-tied, but I sound like a bad cell phone connection. But with her plan, the minimum numbers, 374 refugees asylees from the Middle East during her first term, based on Department of Homeland Security data. 420 refugee asylees from the Muslim world during her first term. 560,000 permanent migrants from the Middle East during her first term. 730,000 permanent migrants from the Muslim world during her first term. Hell? Oh. Woohoo. Oh, I needed a nap. Yes, I do. I'm just shocked at the destruction that Democrats are willing to go to of this country. There's compassion, and then there's just plain stupidity. Again, there's countries in the Middle East that could take these people with no problem. Financially, even housing-wise. But yet, we're supposed to do it. But yet, the United States is the problem in the Middle East. We can't afford our military personnel, but yet we want to bring in these invaders and pay for them. I don't know what to say. Except you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. That's right. It's me. No one else. Whoa, what the? Phone's pissed off at me or something. Just gave like a major vibration, and I'm like, ah. Don't forget tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, will be the Southside Mutt Show, hosted by the Jersey Boys. Well, one Jersey boy tonight, myself, Jersey Joe, Crash will be taking a night off due to a family emergency. His oldest daughter is his stepdaughter. He never calls her stepdaughter. It's his daughter. But her father was found dead yesterday. So he needs to be with his family. He needs to be with his daughter. Make sure she's fine. It's going to be rough for her. My heart breaks for her. It really does. She's a sweet little girl. So, I'm bringing in an unknown. I'm bringing in Paris. Paris is a very, very good friend of mine. Paris helped me when I was in between jobs and having trouble. He helped me. And without question, as soon as he found out, he helped me. I mean, he gave me a job. And I'll always be indebted to him for that. We have become very good friends. And we joke that we're brothers from another mother. The funny thing is, and I've said it several times today, because it's going to be interesting. He is a registered Democrat. He has liberal views. Not 100%, but he does. He is against, this transgender bathroom stuff. Which makes me kind of funny, because some of the things that are going on with the transgender, well, isn't it what some of them are is actually cross-dressers? They're not actually transgenders, because transgenders are the ones that have the surgery. Cross-dressers just put women's clothing on. Am I wrong about that assessment? So really, it opened more. It's not exactly what they thought it was going to be about, especially since it's causing a spotlight to be shined on transgenders, and not so much a good light is being shown on them. And a lot of them don't like it. They don't want to be in the spotlight. They don't want to be the attention. They just want to live their lives and go on. I'm not saying they're embarrassed or anything. Not everybody wants to be in the spotlight. But it's with how Obama went about this little word grenade that he threw. He has opened an issue that there was really not much of an issue. And even there's liberals I'm seeing as I started this Paris. He has 2 daughters that he worries about. And he understands that the way they did this, and we really haven't discussed that much on it. We will talk tonight. He's worried for his daughter's safety, and rightfully so. And that's the whole issue. It's not that we don't like... Hold on. It's not that we have an issue, and at least I could speak to it about myself. I could talk about my family. I could speak for Crash. We don't care about transgenders. We don't care one way or another. Live your life. As long as you're not hurting people, and yes, being a pedophile, you are hurting people. But as long as you're not hurting people, and everything is consentable, have fun. It's American way. It's part of the Constitution. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness doesn't just mean anything outside of the bedroom. Go get married. Because 2 people love each other, I don't care. They're not hurting anybody. I understand some people will disagree with me, and you have the right to. I understand your opinion. You don't want their lifestyle pushed on them and they don't want your lifestyle pushed on them. It's kind of funny that each person wants the same thing, but each other's trying to force their opinion on each other. If you go to a baker and they don't want to bake a cake, do you really want to force them to bake that cake? Because let me tell you, if I own a bakery and I'm forced to bake a cake because it's breaking my beliefs, breaking my religious beliefs, I'm going to make you the worst cake I can make. Now, if I'm that couple, I'm not going to trust that baker now since I forced him to bake that cake. I'm not going to trust him on what he puts in that cake. So instead of running to the courts and my feelings got hurt, buck up, buttercup. That's life. It sucks. Find a baker that will. Find a baker that may cater to your lifestyle. Hell, you might even get a better rate because of it. I don't understand how people want to force their ideas on others. Now, me and Paris, as I said, we can have a conversation. I respect his ideas. It doesn't mean I always agree with his ideas. I could talk to anybody and respect their ideas. Doesn't mean that I agree with their ideas. It's a very basic concept, and I can't believe people can't accept that basic premise. And it's not just liberals or conservatives, it's everybody. Everybody just cannot respect each other anymore. Everybody wants respect, but they're not willing to give respect. And that's how things get all screwed up. And yes, that does apply to Muslims. They want all this respect. They want us to give them all this stuff and respect them. But they're not willing to respect us back. They're bashing us and disrespecting us. But they want us respecting them. They want us respecting their religion. But they don't want to respect ours. And a side note, I figure out why I'm so friggin' tired now. Because right before the show, I don't normally take one of the meds. I wait till afterwards, but things were going on, and I took it, and it's making me a little drowsy. That's why I'm yawning. So I do apologize. I forgot that one. Kind of puts a little damper on my mood. People, just because you might have a different ideology with somebody, political, religious, try having an open-minded conversation. You don't have to like what the other person said, but give them the respect that they have the right. And just as they should give you the respect for your right to say. And I'm not saying tell them to fuck off and all that. If you look, it's funny how Christians go after the gays because it's evil. God doesn't want it. Christian religion says you shouldn't do it. But during that time frame of Jesus, it was not uncommon for sex to happen between anybody and everybody. Not saying we should do it, but even animals. If they're going to go to hell for being gay, if they're going to go to hell, I'm saying if, then that's their problem, not yours. You're not Jesus Christ. You're not out to save the world. You worry about your little square, and they'll worry about their square. And if they're going to go to hell for their actions, just as me, I've done some shit that... Well, I do not ask forgiveness for anything I've done. I know that's going to get a lot of Christians pissed at me. They're pissed at Trump. But he said he is not going to ask for forgiveness. I'm not either. I did what I did in my life. Good or bad, it has always taught me something and expanded who I am. And even bad things where I was wrong and all that. It expanded my knowledge and made me a better person by making those mistakes. But it will be me that has to face God. It will be me that has to answer for my actions. Not you, not anybody else. You don't have to like it, but you can respect it. And that's one of the things that I love about Paris, and he loves about me. We can have these conversations and still respect each other and respect what the others have to say. Opposing views create better views. Or better ideas, I should say. I know I'm going off on some weird tangents today, and I'm sorry about that. It's just... I've gotten in arguments with people, and Trump's knew Hillary, and she went to his wedding, and yada. Let me tell you, I married into a liberal family. Does that mean I have to turn liberal? No. Does that mean we can't talk? No. Does that mean we can't hang out and go to functions together? No. Does it make it interesting when they come and visit? Hell yeah. Do I like the views that my father-in-law has? Most of the time, no. But I still respect his opinion. Even on guns, he hates guns. Oh, does he hate guns? I have no right to silence him, and trust me, it's not silent when we get talking about guns. The funniest one, and I think I told the story before, but I got to tell it again. We got talking about guns, and don't ask me how we got on the subject, and we're yelling at each other. I was like, I got to go get cigarettes. He's like, I'll come with you. You know, in the back of my mind, I'm going, oh, shit. Here we go. Got in the car, and he's like, hey, how's Flyers doing? We just started talking about other things, and everything was calm, like nothing had happened. I wasn't pissed at him. And we went back and forth. And it was, okay, it's done with that conversation. Move on. I think the problem isn't the different ideology. I think the biggest problem is the internet. Too many people are too free to say whatever they think without repercussions. When you're face to face, it's a little bit different on repercussions. And there's no respect over the internet. And it's both sides have their mouthy ones. Liberals, libertarians, socialists, progressives, conservatives, supposed constitutional conservatives, all the different labels. We all have the mouthy ones. We all go a little overboard with emotion. But everybody wants to point out, it's only that one's problem, not us, not us, not us. Bullshit. It's everybody. I've said since day one of the primaries, I have seen the Trump supporter act like little kids also. And I do not support their actions. Just as the Never Trump, the Crude supporters. Their actions, I don't condone their actions. Have I ever got a little out of hand? Yeah, sometimes. I'm not perfect. It's just this mentality of I'm always right. Everything I say is fact. And I get tired of that excuse. It's fact. I just schooled you. No, it isn't. That's your opinion. And if you want to think that you beat me on a social media commentary, go right ahead. I got more important things to worry about in my life. It's funny, the more articles that I keep seeing pop up, the more I see Democrats have kind of given up on the presidential run and kind of conceded that Trump's going to win this. More and more that I see, they know Hillary is not the best candidate to put out there. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
To Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. You know who I am. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. If you want to watch a live stream, it's easy. Go to Reaver.one. Click on the live stream. If you want to support the show, support SHR Media, go to Reaver.one again. Click on the Reaver store. Pick yourself up a jersey, coffee mug, t-shirt, anything like that. So, Facebook has concluded an internal investigation. It's found that there was censoring of conservatives, or there was allegations, and they felt that it was valid. So they investigated, and they've declared itself not guilty. Wah, 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 wah. Facebook has investigated Facebook and judged that Facebook is not guilty. Just as a teenager has graded his own term paper and found that he has gotten 100%. Yeah, that. Sorry, I'm counting to 10. The findings have been released in a letter to Senator John Thone, who earlier this month called the social network to account for allegation that it artificially suppresses conservative topics on its trending news feed and artificially promoted progressive ones. In the letter, which can be read in full, Facebook reiterated their long-standing claim that there's no bias in the way they select trending topics. Well, they do have Glenn Beck saying, conservatives are not on social media. We're not being targeted. The stupidity hurts my head. This is exactly like the NFL. I'm good. I'll be judging this disciplinary hearing. I find you guilty. I'm giving you a 10-game suspension. Oh, you wanted to appeal? Yes, you're going to appeal my decision. I'm going to be the appeals judge. Let me look at it. Did I do the right thing? Yes, I did the right thing. I'm upholding the punishment. Your appeal's denied. Seriously. Why couldn't I have a teacher at school that had this mentality for all testing? Well, I think you can test your own paper or grade your own paper and let me know how many questions you get wrong. Are you going to give us the answer sheet? No, just let me know how many you get wrong on it. Go ahead, grade it yourself. Damn, I'm a genius. I got 100 on this. You messed up on the math. Shut up, I didn't. It's my math. I got 100. Where were these teachers? Let's investigate whether we're censoring people. Well, if we let people know we're censoring, we're going to be in trouble. There could be some backlash. Yeah. We're done the investigation already, so. All right. It just began the investigation. Would they go to one hey, you. Are you censoring? No? Okay. All right, we did a thorough investigation, and we talked to several people, and they all reiterated the same thing. See, they're using the FCC logic that one complaint equals a million. So one person saying that they didn't equals a million people didn't do it. That's how they won the damn, or not won, but that's how they got done their investigation. It is a joke. And I'll be talking about it tomorrow. Glenn Beck has come out again and attacked conservatives again. And I just can't believe this man has been attacking conservatives almost a year now as he screams that he's a constitutional conservative. as he has stood up and repeated liberal propaganda. He has pushed liberal companies such as Facebook, all in the hope that he can save his floundering, flopping, on a death breath company like The Blaze. Speaking of The Blaze, Dana Loesch, I saw. I was flipping through the channels, and I came across, and I'm watching this. They were selling some crap. It was like a 1 o'clock 30-minute selling commercial, and it had Dana Loesch talking to someone, however you say her damn last name. I really couldn't care to look it up. And she was doing this some kind of health benefit. It just made me laugh. It wasn't just like a commercial. It was a 30-minute commercial. One of those infomercials, you know, OxyClean. And she's sitting there going on. I have never seen a credible person do one of those shows. That shows just how much of a joke she is. It shows how much a joke she is on The Blaze. The Blaze and Glenn Beck is constantly attacking Breitbart and The Drudge. Well, maybe because they're more credible. They don't cry every 5 minutes like Beck. And they don't back up the people that are censoring conservatives. You're supposed to be a conservative. I see him backing more liberals than Obama. But yet he is a conservative. All he does is attack, attack, attack. I find the man vile. And I know I talk about him often. Maybe not often, but he's in the news a lot. Ever since he started, when he was Ted Cruz's groupie, I knew of the man before. Never really cared for his news site, his news station. Never knew he had one, really. Until he started, he turned out to be a groupie for Ted Cruz. And he's the one that kind of pushed me away from Ted Cruz because of his words in action. And he just keeps proving it. I mean, he's kissing ass. I mean, kissing ass is an understatement. He's got his head way up in Zuckerberg's ass. I guess he's hoping that either he'll get some money from the man so he can pay more of his debt, or he'll get some extra social push by Facebook to try to help his flounder of a business. But Facebook sits there and says they're not guilty, and that there's no evidence of a systematical political bias in the selection or any of the stories included in the trending topics feature. In fact, our analysis indicate that the rate of approval for conservative and liberal topics are virtually identical in trending topics. Moreover, we are unable to substantiate any of the specific allegation of political motivated suppression of subject or source as reported in the media. But in the letter, they acknowledge that their curation process may have been affected by unintentional bias. But wait a minute. You just said there was none. You said there was no bias. There was no political bias, but yet you admit that there was some unintentional bias. So which is it? You contradicted yourself. Either there is or there isn't. And if there isn't, there's no need to change your process. And we're not just talking. The people aren't just talking about that damn trending topics. That's what Facebook is pushing, and that's what Glenn Beck is pushing. Conservatives are tired when we talk about pro-conservative subjects in an adult manner. It gets removed, and then the person gets suspended. That is what we're complaining about. But the shit that these liberals say, they never get suspended. Maybe never is a bad word. They get away with it at a higher rate than anybody else. I've seen people just approve of Trump, and they get suspended because they approved of Trump. Facebook is a fucking joke. And the only reason why I'm on it is because of this show and because I want to keep those that are willing informed of what's going on. Otherwise, I don't like Facebook. I don't like Twitter. But I do it for the show, and I do it for the people listening. And with that, that's come the time. Don't forget, tonight, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Southside Much Show on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio with a special guest co-host, Paris. Be there. Have a good day.
You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.